Hello everyone, and welcome to learning how to set up your MySQL server with Visual Studio 2012. It was requested that I help somebody with this. Well, more than one somebody. Originally one somebody, but more than that now. So I've decided to create a video for this just to show you the basic steps of what you have to go through to get MySQL server to operate on your typical Windows 64 system with Visual Studio 2012 and MySQL 64-bit version. And here we go. Okay, so first to start, I've set up just this little basic bit of code here that once we've actually gotten this all ready and all set up, will let you know if you have successfully gotten your system operating MySQL and connecting to it. We make a couple of assumptions in this that you have downloaded MySQL, preferably using a Windows installer to avoid any hassle, as I did, especially if you're new. And then as well, obviously that you have Visual Studio. Yeah. From there, we're going to try to set this up and we'll see if we succeed. Now, I have previously already put a bunch of stuff in here, so you'll see some stuff in here that you might not have in yours, but it'll help you understand what you need to have there in order to make it operate. So first we're going to Project, then we're going to the console properties. Well, mine's called console, yours might be called something else. And then in here, there's three different areas where you need to affect something. First, we're going to this area, the VC++ directories under configuration properties. And in here, we need to have our include directories. So this will be where MySQL will find its include files. Now mine's already placed there, but for you who don't have it, you'd click, oh wait, actually before we start any of this, it's very important. You'll note that up here I actually have mine set as active 64. Now I have it in debug, but I recommend for everybody else that you do it for all configurations so you don't have the hassle of trying to create a release and having any errors. Mine's just on debug for now. I'll probably change that later. And this part here, you'll probably have something. Yep, errors. You'll probably have something more like the Win32 in here, depending on if you've set anything up previously like this as your defaults. If you do have the Win32, you'll need to change it to this. Where you do that is in the configuration manager. And then down here, you'd find things like these options. Now when you change it to 64, you'll have the options to import your settings from Win32. Go ahead and do that. And then make sure you have it on 64. And make sure the build's clicked. Those. Okay. Now it should be putting everything into this sort of build. Now you'll have your include directories here, which will look probably different from mine. You go in here and edit. And this is where you have the option to actually insert the location of your include folder. Now, depending on how you set it up or your version of MySQL, you might be a little bit different, but in general, this is where you'll find the path for the include folder. Okay, so if you wanted to add this way, you could do that way. That's how you'd add the file there. Or if you want to browse it, you can click this button and it'll actually allow you to browse for the folder location. That's it. Now you need to connect your libraries to this as well. So yours probably won't look like this yet. Similar procedure. Go into edit. Same thing, either add a new line by typing it in, or when you have the option, go and browse for it. Okay, so we've got these two things set up. Very vital. Next, we're going to our linker here. Now in your linker, you also need to set up additional library directories. The procedure also is similar, and here we'll be hooking up to our libraries. So you'd find it at a location similar to this. That would be your library directory. Okay, that's done. Now, under linker, we have the general. That's where we put this part. And then after general is input. Now, input's also important. This is where you determine your additional dependencies. So you might have something different in here. I have all these little guys here. And you'll just want to toss this in at the beginning. You can either type it in, or you can do it similar to the previous procedures where you add it to all this stuff. Okay, so you've got your general set up with this. You've got your input set up with this little bugger here. And then up at this, you had these two new entries. Okay, so you'd click apply. Should be all good to go. Now, this is the part where a bunch of people have had a bit of an issue. There's one more additional step you actually have to do. And I found it kind of strange, considering usually a lot of things take care of this for me. But I actually had to go into the folder to add the DLL. So I opened up my Windows and System32 folder, where all my DLLs are located. And then I went to MySQL folder. This little fella here, even though the library is right next to him, cannot communicate with the DLL and the library between each other for some strange reason. So I just copied and I pasted it here. I just zoomed down to prove that I did it, so you don't think I'm just making stuff up. There we go. Even a recent time date. Isn't that nice? Okay, so I put that in there. And after all of these steps, the test. This is just a basic C++ console. Initiate. Yay! Look, no errors. It compiled, it built. Up to date. And that's the basics of setting it up. After that, you should be able to connect to the databases. And the rest of those steps get a little more advanced. This is just the setup procedure. I hope this has been very helpful. Thank you. Bye-bye.